Storytime. 5 short cheating horror stories where karma may have visited these cheating spouses. Plus, these stories are narrated in Tony's wonderful voice.
Not my story, and not directly infidelity related, but here goes. My ex's stepmother was the quintessential evil stepmother. The second she and my ex's dad had children, she got shipped off to boarding school and largely forgotten about by her father's side of the family, something her father was always remorseful over, but didn't know how to really deal with. Well, my ex grew up and gave up on ever really having a relationship with her father that wasn't ruined by her stepmom. She and I ran a PI firm for years and dealt with cheating spouses on the regular. Neither of us were prepared for this one to fall into our laps though. One morning, while we were getting ready to leave town for a job, she got a Facebook message from some unknown guy asking if she knew stepmother. She answered and received another message, nearly instantly stating that the sender was a fireman whose wife had been caught cheating a few months prior, and he couldn't sit by and let someone else cheat without warning others. The night before, he had been driving down an old country road and stopped at 2 cars that looked to be broken down to see if they needed help. But by the time he got to the back windows of the car, he realized that something else was going on. So he snapped a few photos, got back in his truck, and ran the license plates of the couple he found. And when they came back to different last names and addresses, he decided to find the families of the couples and warn them. He couldn't find my ex's husband online, so he found what he assumed was the daughter and told her, "Y'all, I have never seen someone cry such happy tears in my life. Revenge for all the time she had been kept away from her father had just been dumped in her lap by a complete stranger, and this form of revenge was literally how she paid her bills." I made her sit on the info, including photos, for 24 hours while we thought it out and gathered a plan. We called her dad up and took him to lunch, warning him that we had some tough issues we needed to talk to him about. When he saw the photos, you could see the relief on his face. Some random stranger had come along and opened up a huge exit door from what he called an absolutely abusive marriage. We all agreed that more proof was needed because she would probably want to fight in court. So X and I took the case on ourselves and started stalking her ourselves. Legally, we caught her 3 days in a row before deciding we had enough. Every time it was the same pattern, something my ex's dad said was a regular occurrence that he just never realized was her cheating. She was an avid bike rider and would spend hours a day out riding her bike. We picked a day when her stepmom would be coming back from a business trip to have all the fun. We got there early, packed everything she owned into boxes, loaded them into a truck, and waited with her father for his wife to come home. The instant she saw a manila envelope in her husband's hands and a smile on her stepdaughter's face, she knew what was going on and started screaming like a banshee. "How could you do this to me, you little bit?" Calmly, my ex cut her off, easily and happily. In the end, she gave up the house and full custody of the kids so she could go sleep around without worries. None of her kids wanted anything to do with her, and my ex and her father now have a great relationship. I've seen tons of people stick it to a cheating spouse, but never one that felt as good as my ex getting her father back from the evil stepmom. Okay, so I'm a loud talker. I know I am, and I work on controlling the volume of my voice when I'm speaking to anyone, but it's difficult sometimes because I don't realize how loud my voice is. Anyway, before my divorce, my ex constantly pointed that out to me when we were together. She would say, "I'm right in front of you. Why are you yelling? What's wrong with you? You're just an idiot who talks too loud." Stuff like that. She would do it to me every time, all the time, no matter where we were or who we were with. I think she enjoyed embarrassing me. Anyway, fast forward 18 years. She cheated on me and we divorced. She denied it at first, but when she couldn't anymore, she finally admitted it. She listed all the things that she hated about me and made it a point to tell me what they were. Wouldn't you know that my loud voice was at the top of the list? She couldn't stand it anymore, and her exact words were, "The sound of your voice makes me sick to my stomach." Okay, fair enough. I told her that in order not to make her sick, I won't speak to her ever again, which I'm proud to say, those were the last words she ever heard from me. That was 13 years ago. Recently, one of my kids, they live with me now by the way, told me he didn't like visiting with his mother anymore. I asked him why, and he said she's always shouting. I asked if she was mad at him, or his brother maybe. He said no. I asked, is she arguing with her husband? Yes, she married the guy. He said no. Why all the shouting? Then I asked. He told me that the husband is going deaf and can't hear her, so she has to shout at him all the time so he can hear her. Now, if that ain't karma revenge, I don't know what is. When I found my ex-wife out, I read some posts on Reddit that she made with her Reddit account, which were detailed descriptions of what happened when she was having sex with AP. Oh, it hurt, that's for sure. My heart started beating so fast that I thought I was going to have a panic attack. The first thing I did was announce it on Facebook for all of our friends and family to see. I shared her posts. Then I emailed her family in Brazil and told them about it and said it was nice knowing them. She owns a cleaning business, so after that I left reviews online for her business, sharing what she had done. After that, I called her and told her to leave and never come back. She was with AP when I called her. She came home only to get her laptop, the one that she left unlocked, so I could find her Reddit usernames. When she got home, she tried to explain, but I didn't let her get a single word in edgewise. I just kept screaming, "Get the fuck out of my life and don't come back." The next part I'm ashamed of. I went around the house smashing all of her things that I could have gotten in trouble for, but I was filled with anguish and rage. I've never been a violent person, nor have I ever raised my voice to her until that day, not in 14 years. Well, I turned the house upside down and found $3,000 in cash that she had been hiding. I kept that. When she came back with a friend to get her stuff was scattered everywhere. The only kind thing I did was only take half of our joint savings account money out before I called her. None of this made me feel good. The whole situation was absolutely terrible, and 9 months later, I'm still recovering. Not my revenge, but a client's. He had stumbled across his wife's infidelity and was planning on breaking it up by informing other man's wife. What his research revealed is that other man's wife was quite well off and that her husband was dependent on her financially. He also knew that AP was fat and bald, whereas he outclassed AP in every way. He hatched a plan. He got in touch with other man's wife. He played the betrayed husband to the 9th degree. She commiserated and he started gently flirting. He knew from his single days that he could get most women he wanted into the sack. It worked. They began a very physical and emotional affair. He then began to intimate that they should end up together. It became a love affair. He really had not anticipated it, but even better, his wife picked up on it. Shortly, there was a confrontation. Other man's wife left her husband for the betrayed husband. AP was angered beyond belief. And guess what? He blamed his new position on the wayward wife. Basically, if they had not started an affair, then the rich wife would not have left for the betrayed husband. Betrayed husband and other man's wife had a fairly fabulous lifestyle. Ex-wayward wife had to go out to work, as her AP had split. AP found a shitty little apartment and began to work. His ex had a prenup and enforced it. My client ended up married to the other man's wife. They have homes in several cities. His ex and her AP have not seen their ex-spouses for years. They live in poverty. Suits them. I read a story on here a few years ago about a man who found out His wife of 20 years was having an affair after she became pregnant by her affair partner. She wanted to divorce as quickly as possible so that she could marry her AP. To move the process along, the wife agreed to let her husband have everything in the divorce. She had been a stay-at-home wife, but her AP was a doctor and made a great income. The AP was also married and also offered his wife just about everything for a quick divorce. The wife and her AP figured they could make it back quickly on his salary as a doctor. The week after the divorce finalized, the ex-wife married her AP and left on her honeymoon. While still vacationing, the new husband died in a freak car accident. The ex-wife suddenly found herself 6 months pregnant, absolutely no marketable skills or job history, and absolutely nothing in assets. The jilted husband said he felt badly for his ex-wife, that things didn't work out how she planned, but felt no reason to renegotiate the divorce settlement with her. It wasn't intentional revenge, but it was the best story of affair karma I have ever read.